Hello there, Brandon Bailey again here with another music discussion video. If you watched my video yesterday, you know that we were talking about Nirvana and we were ranking their studio albums, including Incesticide. And if you remember what I was saying in that video about the rankings, kind of interchangeable to me. So it was a pleasant listening experience because I'm gonna try to actually, whether I know the albums well or not, go through their whole discography when I do this and listen to them and reevaluate things, and reassess things contrary to how I might feel about them, based upon my past experiences and shit. So, without further ado, we'll get into the top 10 songs here from those albums, because I tried not to talk too much specifically about what songs I enjoy the most over others. I may have brought some of them up, but I do want to say this about this top 10 list is that it is not going to be typical. There are no big hits or singles in it, and I'm not doing that to get like brownie points or to look cool or something. Some of them are because I just came up with them and these songs, and they attach to me more throughout my life, especially learning how to play guitar early on and learning some of these and whatnot. And some of them are important for that reason. Others are important because when I re-listened to this, I just kind of had to reevaluate. Oh yeah, these are the songs that really are interesting amongst all of the rest in their catalog to me. And that's usually what I look for the most. It's not usually about like, oh, this is our catchiest song, or this is the song that I feel like resonates with everyone the most, or anything like that, or even professionally produced or something like that. To me, it's more so about what makes it interesting and what makes me want to come back to it because it's different from all the rest. Like I don't come to Nirvana looking for, pristine quality production to a certain extent. I don't come to them looking for typical pop songwriting and stuff. I will say that the reason I come to them is for the rawness, the abrasiveness of the riffs and the band and everything all put together. I mean, obviously their energy, the satire and sarcasm of his lyrics and how deep and personal and honest they can be. Sometimes I don't feel like he's always writing about himself, but they always seem like they're coming from a place of his heart. And his vocals too, man, that's another reason I come to him. Like, I don't come to them just to hear him sing clean, you know what I mean? Obviously not. Like, he does things that I would never try to do. I have tried to do, but I won't again, I guess I would say. He just is insane with his vocals, pushed himself to the limit. Didn't need to do that for us. He did, though. He full sent the extremeness of his voice, and I come to Nirvana for that. I guess that's what I'm getting at, is that all the music that stands out to me is weird and interesting and well put together and raw and heavy, and that's pretty much what I like about them. So, also, like I said, no singles. Some of their singles can be like that, but no singles except for this number 10 spot. And the number 10 is not one from an album. It's the only one on here that is one of their side songs, It's a unreleased song that came out on their self-titled greatest hits album, the Black Nirvana album. It is, of course, You Know You're Right. And this song to me has always been kind of special. I've always heard it on the radio, and like my mom had that greatest hits album, so it's like I always heard this song. But there's something cool and interesting about it, structurally and compositionally and also sonically. And I also feel like for it being like kind of their swan song, like their last statement as a band, I think it sums up where they were at that time pretty good, and sadly where they could have been going. But from the little, clingy clangy, like boom boom boom, like things in the intro, them weird, he's doing it like behind like the nut of the guitar somewhere, on the guitar somewhere, probably. Yeah, I think that's interesting. The beat in it and the bass line, definitely one of their best bass grooves and riffs, like, period. It has a really good soft and loud dynamic to it for sure too. Like, he starts off singing pretty quietly, and then, like most of his songs, builds up to that aggressive scream that he does, that guttural throat scream, and it's absolutely insane. Love the lyrics to this too. I can't sit here and try to say that I know what every single song he writes about is about, but they're like, all of these songs have lyrics to me that stick out to me in some sort of way. Yeah, it's just a visceral song. Couldn't ask more for their last song. It has great guitar moments, has great bass moments, great drum moments, great vocal moments, and yeah, very well produced. Oh my God. And number 9, we got On a Plane. Now, On a Plane is a very special song for them, for me, in their catalog. Obviously off of Nevermind. The bass work alone in this song, I think, is what makes it stand out, and that's a lot of Nevermind songs. I think the bass is just absolutely outstanding on that. Chris Novoselic is just, wow, incredible at coming up with catchy bass lines and playing them very well and efficiently. And yeah, On a Plane is no exception. I love the structure of the song. It's so different. The lyrics are really cool. Like, everything about the song is different. And I guess I should have mentioned in the beginning, another thing that draws me to them is their interesting chord progressions. Like, they do things that to the ear at first, I think, sound like common, like, pop punk or pop chord progressions, but they really have a interesting choice in the intervals they choose to do, whether that was on purpose or not, and he was just doing it by ear, depending on how the melody was in his head. I just, in this song, On a Plane, it has very interesting chords in it, like, as far as the structure, and yeah, couldn't ask for a better fucking track off of Nevermind, honestly. At number 8 is Francis Farmer, Will Have a Revenge on Seattle. Yeah, this one is crazy. I love the lyric, I miss the comfort of being sad. I think that's one that sticks out to me the most, because sometimes that's what Nirvana's music does for me, is it helps through hard times to a certain extent, because I know halftime Kurt was probably going through a hard time, so I can relate with that. But I think the song has something to do with the grunge scene and maybe the publicity of it in general or something. I'm just speaking from what I gather of it, and I do really like the rawness of the song too. Like, it's just so dirty, but it also is so melodic. The solo is really interesting. Just a good song, like, let's see, after that, number 7 is Serve the Servants, and I feel about this much in a similar vein to Francis Farmer on In Utero. I feel like these two are kind of interchangeable with me, but yeah, Serve the Servants is really cool. I think it's got a nice moodiness about it, and yeah, I just, really like the sarcasm that seems to be in the lyrics. I really like the drums to it, and it's, again, got a great solo for Nirvana. Number 6, one that I mentioned in the last video, was pretty important to me, especially with getting into the band in general. Mainly because my mom and my little brother were like, "Oh, this is the heaviest Nirvana song. This is the most metal one," because I knew that probably had an impact on me at the time, I guess. So this song, man, just that main riff. Of course, I'm talking about Floyd the Barber. It goes bam, bum, bum, bum. Like, wow, like, it's so powerful, so simple, and it's really catchy, and I really like how crazy and scraggly he gets with his vocals and stuff on this. It's just really interesting, and then he goes down for the chorus with the I'm ashamed part, and of course the song's a reference to Floyd the Barber from Leave It to Beaver, the old TV show, oldies show. And yeah, it's just a really interesting song. I know that there's some sort of context to, his early life or something with this song. I can't admit that I've never read, like, one of the Kurt Cobain books or autobiographies or something, but, I'm aware that the song has some sort of importance. And it's always stood out to me. I love the little simple guitar solo in it. It's, yeah, just a powerful, awesome, heavy song. At number 5, we got Lounge Act. Probably opens up with one of my favorite bass lines of all time. The like on a plane, the bass and lounge act is wow, just incredible. Just a showcase of what the bass on Nevermind has to offer. And yeah, I just love the build up. Like he's kind of repeating the same thing, but like each time he's building up the dynamics in his voice, and god damn, it's just so interesting and cool. And I think this is one of his, like when he gets to that final part of the song, you know, it's hard to replicate that. I think that's one of his most impressive vocal lines, in my opinion. It's just so catchy, so good. And you know, as you notice, not all of these songs have guitar solos. This song doesn't really have a guitar solo, but not every song needs a guitar solo, and I think this is, you know, a good testament to that. It's unfuckable with, if you will. So, at number 4, we got another track from Bleach. It's called Blue, and it's the opening song to the whole Nirvana catalog. Probably, like when I think of grunge, like what that means, I feel like this song is just such an epitome of that. It's just perfect in the sense of capturing that vibe, because it's like thrashy and dirty and punky, and it's got the crazy like just gnarly sounding guitar solo. It's just a little chaotic, but the phrasing's really cool. Yeah, I just, you know, Blue's really cool, man. It's a good heavy song and a great opener. Captures their vibe perfectly right off the bat, no doubt. Number 3 for me is Dive off of Incesticide. And yeah, this one is kind of in that same vein as Blue, like where it's just like, I feel like it perfectly encapsulates who they were at that time and where they were going, but also it just shows their sound in general, you know, like I think this is one of the first songs where they got Dave Grohl in the band on and stuff, but it's just Nirvana in a nutshell, you know, and I just love the dive, dive, dive in me. This is another one that I feel is just like very hard to replicate with the singing because it's almost non-stop screaming, and it's just so powerful, so cool, man. Like, love the energy on lots of these tracks. So number 2, a controversial one, I think, because some people really love this song, some people really can't stand this song. It is what it is. It is School from Bleach. So, I think it's one of their thrashiest cuts in general, most metal cuts. It's just insane. I love the jerkiness of the drums, just kind of trying to tag along with the guitar riff. It's really cool. One of the best riffs fucking ever. That it's just so powerful. So cool. His vocals, you know, again, hard to replicate. So soaring. The Won't You Believe It's Just My Luck. Like, even when he's singing the verse, it's just crazy. Then when he does the No Recess, it's like, whoo! Like, goddamn. It gives you goosebumps listening to this song. And if you had bad experiences in school or whatever, in public schooling, I'm sure this is a song that resonates pretty well with you. Love the guitar solo in this. It's so good. It might be his best as far as performance, like just nailing it. And it's still a little chaotic sounding, but I think it's just the phrasing in it is so thought out, and it feels good when it comes on. It feels strong. Love it. Underrated as hell. So, my number 1, here we go. This is one that has not changed since I was probably like 15 years old. And I hate to sound like I wasn't willing to let it budge, but I'd be remiss to say if, you know, this song doesn't deserve this spot for me. The riffs and the drums alone, and just the interestingness of the song. Of course, I'm talking about Aero Zeppelin from Incesticide. Like, probably the most underrated song in their whole catalog, always has been to me. Not many people talk about it. I think my brother kind of got me interested in this song, so I remember he was reading some of Kurt Cobain's like autobiographies and stuff. I think he mentioned to me that this song, the title alone, is supposed to be a tribute to Kurt's biggest influences, like back in the 70s, Aerosmith, and Led Zeppelin, of course, Aero Zeppelin. And to me that was surprising, because when I was getting into metal and stuff and like kind of discovering the origins with bands like Aerosmith and Led Zeppelin, I never made that connection from them to Nirvana like whatsoever. You know what I mean? So when I heard this song too, not that I think it sounds like either Aerosmith or Led Zeppelin in any way, not to say neither of those bands would play riffs like this, but you know, it just didn't sound like the normal Nirvana I was used to, because I wasn't used to their heavy rawness yet. And when I heard this song, and just alone that main riff, that like the drums during that part, oh my god, like that has stuck with me forever. Like I wish I could have came up with such a cool fucking thrashy riff. It sounds like a riff that fucking Slayer or Anthrax or something wrote. I mean, really, this whole song gives me like those Seasons of In the Abyss Slayer kind of vibes, with the even with the main, like just the diminishedness of it in general. It's so evil and menacing, and I think that's why I like most of these songs, because they're very menacing and evil sounding. But like this one just takes the cake for me. Like it's just the build on the song and the structure, and what he's talking about seems to be about like critiquing like all the people around him who are doing things to fit in, and he's kind of just doing whatever the hell he feels like. And I love that the title of this song kind of seems to be it seems to be inspired by him wanting to embrace more of his original influences, you know, instead of just kind of like what's going on in the scene. I think this song captures like the shit that he was really into when he first started playing guitar and stuff, and started writing songs probably. So yeah, Aero Zeppelin, man, I couldn't say enough good things about this song. It's just so memorable for me. The guitar solo is my favorite guitar solo by them. I said School might be their best played, but I think the sloppiness, chaoticness of this one just speaks to the song even more. He does like these scrapey dive bombs in the middle of a lick, and it just like sounds like your brain is like melting. It's, at least to me, and like, yeah, it's just insane, man. Like I love the energy on it. He hits those little hey like right before it and stuff, and the bass is doing that boom boom bam bam bam, like it's just going nuts. I just can't even express how much I love this song. Yeah, and that's why it stands above all the rest, even though all these are kind of like interchangeable. They're all like what makes Nirvana great for me. Like, and some of them are kind of similar in ways, I would say. I wouldn't say they're a samey band, but they have samey moments, for sure. And those just happen to be what I like. But, you know, we'll move on. Let me throw in some honorable mentions before we close the video. This one is one that I feel like could have easily been in there. I'm talking about Stain from Incesticide. That one is just so dirty and raw again, like just captures their vibe. There's other ones like hits that could have easily have been on there, such as like In Bloom. I think In Bloom's a great song. It's hard. I'm hard pressed to not put any hits in this, but like I said, it's not to look cool or anything like that. It's like literally what I enjoyed the most too when I listened through all their albums. But yeah, In Bloom's a great structured song. Dumb, I love the cello on that and the lyrics, and yeah, it's just that's such a beautiful song. Penny Royalties, a beautiful song. Like I like the studio one, but I think I prefer the unplugged more. You know, there's stuff on the Unplugged that I would throw on here, like Lake of Fire. I was hard pressed to not throw their Meat Puppets cover of that on there. Yeah, so many. Oh Me, you know, Plateau, Where Did You Sleep Last Night? A lot of those covers on there are just incredible. Yeah, it's just hard to pick. You know, with some of these, like, yeah, Downer's really good on Bleach. Sifting, I really like. Negative Creep, you know, is super freaking heavy and awesome and short and simple. There's so many cool moments. I mean, Nevermind, you know, obviously has its awesome moments like Breed and Territorial Pissings that I could have put on here easily too. Yeah, it's just these are just the songs that have been sticking out to me, and I really like them. I will go back to these 10 any day of the week. Don't mind any time they come on. It's cool by me. And yeah, if you've enjoyed this list, and I hope you have, I hope you have your own opinions. You want to share them. I love to have these discussions about ranking songs and albums and stuff, and what people enjoy more over others and why. Just don't bring any ridiculous toxic negativity to my comments, as we're trying to keep this positive here, trying to get people interested in this stuff, and not, you know, not disgusted by it, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to try and say more positive things than I have to say negative things about stuff, even if I really didn't enjoy something. But can't say that about Nirvana. Love Nirvana. Maybe not in my top 10 or 20 bands, maybe. But still, they're definitely in the 100 or 50 somewhere. Haven't really done that ranking yet. But yeah, they're up there, and I enjoy them quite a bit for what they are. Like I said, I don't go to them looking for something else. You know, I go to them looking for all of the things that they are. So without further ado, you all have a great day. Peace and love. You know, I appreciate you all stopping by. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell, and yeah, look out for more content, whether that be these discussions, rankings, new music from me, just anything I feel like doing. But there's definitely new music coming from me soon, so be aware of that. See y'all soon. Again, have a great day.